All right. So I have 10 pairs of designer shoes, 9 with me here, one's at my work. And I got to tell you all about them. I have everything from crazy bling, sparkly stilettos to rubber boots. So let me tell you what I like about them, how I purchased them, give you some tricks about buying shoes and where you can find that value because I love shoes. Honestly, I am so surprised that I only have 10. It is probably also because I have copious amounts of other shoes that I don't necessarily always go for designer. But I can tell you, these designer shoes are fantastic. It is something that I want to start investing more in. And so let's walk through my 9 pairs of designer shoes. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Lexi. If not, welcome back. I like to put out videos every Tuesday on designer and luxury fashion and style. So if you could like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you'll know when my newest video comes out. Like I said, I have 10 pairs. I do keep 1 pair of the scalloped, just a beige neutral Chloe flat at my work that I use, oh my gosh, to death. Those pair could be replaced in the next couple years, and I bought them used, and I have still worn the sin out of them. They have been great. I love that a lot of these shoes are real leather. So I'm going to talk about the ones that I have at home, and I'm going to start with Jimmy Choo because I have a lot of Jimmy Choo and kind of go up all the way to boots because now we're getting into that kind of season. So let's start with the first pair. So these are probably the most boring pair. I got these pre-loved. I have a secondhand store that's local to me. They often have designer shoes. And if it hits the sales, sometimes the sales are outrageously good. And because I know my size in Jimmy Choo, I'm not afraid to just order what I like. And I often scour the clearance area because I think I got these for like 70 bucks. Sure, they're kind of just like a yellow patent, but they are so neutral. The borderline kitten heel is super comfortable. Even though it's thin, it's because it's so short, it's really practical. So these are kind of a workhorse neutral. I would rather wear pizzazzy, but sometimes an outfit just doesn't need extra in the shoes. So these to me were a great purchase. I would love them in a bit of a better neutral color because the yellow isn't my favorite. However, this is incredibly neutral to me. These pair, kind of just extend because they've got that nice pointed toe, but they are the true workhorse for when I just need something neutral. My second pair of Jimmy Choos are again this patent leather. As you'll see, I'm a very big fan of patent leathers. This I also got on extreme clearance at the secondhand place. They were fantastic shape. They barely looked like they were used. And yes, you are going to get wear on the bottom, but that's because they're real leather and it's going to happen the second you wear them. So to me, it's not a big deal. I almost guarantee I've done like 90% of the damage here. But these are cool because they're lace up, as you can see in the video. Also makes it that you are not going to and from places with this. These are higher heels, they are lace up. It's not going to be something you're going to walk in forever. And if you do, oh my gosh, all to you. I cannot do that anymore, especially in these thin heels. But they are super sexy. When you don't want something a little too pizzazzy, this is a nice neutral, but the lace up really gives it that little bit of extra edge. I also find that these shoes, because they don't have glitter or anything bling to them, can really be dressed down as well. So these are fantastic. Super happy with buying these pre-loved. And I've always been happy with the Jimmy Choo quality. These I actually got on a secondhand buy sell local website. So someone had bought them for their wedding, used them the one night, and decided they'll never wear them again. And they were brand new. They came with the stuffing, the shoe inserts, the box, the receipt. They were new in my eyes. And I got them for a crazy deal, like a couple $100, pretty much brand new when these are $1,000 shoes. And the reason I really like these ones is they're not actually silver, they're not gold, they're a multicolor. So these are the Jimmy Choo Romies, and this shade has all sorts of colors in it. So it can really work with pretty much everything. It's a little difficult if, for say, if, for example, what I really like to wear is a black dress and then some really bling silver jewelry. These shoes I kind of stray away from on that because it's clearly not a silver and it can clash. However, if you don't have a lot going on, you have a little bit more simple jewelry, these can really kick it up. It's really fun to add, even with a pair of jeans and a nice shirt. These could really pump it up. So, super happy with them. They're still in really nice condition. The heels are fantastic. I haven't had too much of the glitter come off. I can't see any patches. And again, they're really comfortable because they are that shorter heel. They're slightly higher than that first pair, but still, these are a really low shoe. So, comfort is key. I got these on a Boxing Day sale, again, from that second pre love place. Again, I think they were like $70. But talk about a New Year's Eve pair. I love this pair. It's black with the chunky silver. And like I said, when I go out, I love to wear the crazy bling. Like I have some giant ones that look like they're covered in crystals. I have a crystal collar. So generally, it's black with crazy bling or a dark color. So these get worn all the time. Also, they are a very high heel. However, the platform really helps. So if you ever have a high heel, the platform kind of takes away from it. So it's really only this high of a heel. Still, it's high, but it is more comfortable than the next pair I'm going to show you. The straps are really nice. I think that they're really accentuating on the foot. And there's, the really nice quality details. I don't know if you can see, but it says Jimmy Choo there. I've been so happy with every pair of Jimmy Choo heels. The quality is there. It's something that I will keep for a long time. And I really hope, my daughter is the same size shoe as me because then I can pass it down. If not, I'll get my wear out of these over time. They're beautiful shoes. I'm going to wear them to my office Christmas party again this year. I love them. This is the first designer shoes that was bought in store, brand new. So these were actually a gift. I was very excited at the time. These were a little bit beyond the means in which I should have been gifted, but very exciting because I am such a shoe fanatic. I love shoes. I don't own as many that is reflective of how much I love them, but these are just a nice neutral gold, just your classic sandals. Again, these are the same. Both this and the last one are called Lottie's. And I believe maybe Jimmy Choo might still sell this style. But again, just a nice heel height. I should say this is a hefty heel height because there is no platform on these. So I'm really not walking far in these as well. They're very similar to the Strappy pair. But again, being so glittery and gold, I don't really use them unless I'm going out for something fancy. And I think that this gold, because it's not too obnoxious, is still a little bit more neutral. I can get away with wearing it with a little bit more. And if I'm wearing gold, these are the shoes I reach for. So it's nice. I have to say, the only thing that I wish I still had in this collection was just maybe a little bit more of a simple silver. I did buy a kind of less expensive kitten heel slingback pair, but they are so uncomfortable. They're so uncomfortable. I need to get a nice quality pair because when I buy these cheap ones, I thought, ooh, give it a try, see if I like the style. They're horrible. I just won't wear them. They're that uncomfortable, and the heel is maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches compared to these things. So that just shows you the difference in when you buy the quality. Okay, moving away from Jimmy Choo's. Again, I bought these pre-loved. They were almost brand new. Bought them last fall, and these are my Saint Laurent patent black Mary Janes with studs. I had really wanted kind of a studded accessory pair that could really add a little bit of punch. And I found that these were wonderful. The patent is beautiful, and I really love the buckle. They are extremely comfortable. I want to get more wear out of them. Now that it's fall, I think that I will. But these are super cute, and I really appreciate the quality in the craftsmanship. I really like black patent, and I think this kicks up any little outfit. And it, like I said, perfect for the fall, crazy comfortable. Okay, now moving on to my first pair of boots. These I had picked out at the Nordstrom's pre-Christmas sale, probably a Black Friday sale, and asked for them for Christmas back when Nordstrom's was still in Canada. I believe maybe there is still some in like Vancouver and Toronto and the larger cities, but ours sadly left us. And these are Alexander Wang boots. What is so cool is they have the heel cut out. So they're black patent with the rose gold accessories. And I have had, I think every time I wear these, somebody compliments them. When they notice how cool this heel is, people die. And I have worn the crap out of these and they still look fabulous. I love these boots. I think these are my favorite pair of designer shoes that I own. And I think that they're pretty much a classic. You know, it's got a rounded off toe, like a pointed rounded toe, but nothing too extreme. So it's never going to feel dated because it's not going too heavy in any way. It's got the zip up on the inside and these reinforced heel cutouts, which sell the boots. I think these are so cool. And now, if you're a seasoned subscriber, you have seen these before. This was actually the very first thing I have ever reviewed for my channel. And these are the Chloe Betty boots. So these are a rain boot. They are made of rubber on the entire way. They're heavier, but given the chunkiness of the heel, not too bad. Large zipper on the inside, nice pull tab, nice detail. They come in all sorts of colors. I think you can still get a couple different colors floating around the internet, but I don't know that Chloe sells these anymore. However, I love these. I'm in a city that often gets hot and cold and hot and cold in both the fall, winter, and spring. So it can get super slushy. So I get my use out of these bad boys. They are so fantastic. And I love the yellow. The yellow is classic wellies and super happy with these. These are going to stay, I think, probably forever. Okay, and now for my newest pair of designer ones. This is Paris, Texas. A little bit lesser known of a brand. However, these are full leather, and that, besides them being designer, make them a bit more expensive. Again, I bought these secondhand, and they were still in great shape. I really love croc and lizard and snake skin and all of that. And you can see this beautiful detailing on the leather, a nice chunky heel. These are 100 millimeter heel. So having them be chunky makes them much, much more wearable. I also love the slouch they give. So they're not form fitted, they are slouched. If you want more details, I'll flip it above and I'll link it below, but I have fully reviewed these as well. These are just a great fall boot. You know, I think they're so pretty under a long skirt or with a dress, even with leggings or a tight pair of jeans. So versatile having a knee high boot, and it comes up right to my knee. I'm also fairly athletic, so I have pretty generous calves and they still fit, which is awesome. And I'm really happy with these boots, but this would be the last pair. So if you were to ask me what couple pairs of shoes I could see adding to my collection, I would love like a kitten heel slingback in a silver because I could see me using that both casually and for, you know, like date night or when I'm dressed up a little bit more. And I would love another pair of boots. In Canada, you need a lot of pairs of boots. Unfortunately, I find you don't get to wear as many cool, fun shoes as you want because sometimes when it's minus 30, you just got to go for comfort. So I have lots of really warm boots that have worked out really well, but I wouldn't mind adding one or two more pair, maybe like a pair of, you know, Prada combat boots or some Gucci, something like that. But as you can tell, my biggest thing that I will help you with buying shoes is buy pre-loved if you don't have an aversion to it with shoes because it is feet, but you can clean them. So just buy pre-loved, look around, you know, with bags, sometimes they go up, sometimes they stay consistent. You might get, you know, 50% off if the bag is really used and it's not in season or in style. Shoes, though, you can get them pretty much brand new a year or two later, and they will be well under 50% of what they bought them for. Why? Because there's so many sizes. It's really limiting when you try and sell something if you have a very select set of clients that you can sell to because shoe sizes, right? There's just such a wide variety. So if you know your shoe size, and get to know the brand because that's something that you have to be careful of because I've done that. I've bought a pair of shoes and had to resell them. Get to know the brand, read a lot of feedback on how they fit, where they fit. A lot of brands have sizing online. and stick to the pre-loved market because you will get so much more value. I hope I've been helpful here for you guys and that you've enjoyed the review of all my designer shoes. I will be sure to review them as I get them for when they add to my collection. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks.